Hello friends, Astrojack is here, and today I want to talk about the First Shinobi World War. There have been a lot of interesting off-screen things in Narutoverse, which did not really get enough screen time, and were not explained well, and I find them really interesting, and want to cover them one by one. But in order to do that, I really need your support by liking this video and subscribing to this channel. Anyway, I hope all of you have a great day. And let's start the video. Compared to the other 3 Great Ninja Worlds, we have the least information about this one, and let's start talking about what we actually know about it. The war started not long after the system of one shinobi village per country was established, by the founding of the Hidden Leaf village, after the Warring State period. During the war, to try and maintain a balance of power, the first Hokage divided the Tailed Beast among the other 5 major villages, when he began his peace talks with them. One of the biggest effects of this war was that the fact that second Hokage died during this war, while fighting against Konogakure's Kinkaku force, sacrificing himself as a decoy, in order for his subordinates to escape. Before doing so, he selected Hiruzen Sarutobi for his position of third Hokage. However, not many people know that Tobirama is not the only Hokage who died in this war. In the first Naruto Databook, it's also written that Hashirama Senju had died in the same war, but it's unknown under what situation he died and who killed him. Let's talk about other Kages that participated in the war, and let's start with Reto, the first Kazekage, who founded the Sungakure in the Land of Wind, and was said to have gathered all the desert-dwelling shinobi under his control, with his overwhelming power. During the First Shinobi World War, at the first ever meeting of all 5 Kage, he, accompanied by the future second Kazekage, Shaimon, noted to his peers that they would not be acting simply based off feelings, and that their agreement was based off the distribution of the tailed beasts under Hashima's control. Later in the meeting, he would reveal that Sungakure already had one of the tailed beasts, and demanded other compensation, namely a portion of the Land of Fire's fertile land, and 30% of whatever each nation had to pay for the tailed beasts. Though some argued that his demand was too high, he remained unvarying in his request. When threats of war were thrown at the table, Hashirama besieged them to cooperate. Reto appeared solemn at the Hokage's request. As with all of the Kazekage who came after him, Reto died an untimely death at the hands of assassins, a fate that many people consider to stem from the lineage of the Kazekage being cursed. However, it's unknown if he died in the war or not. The next in our list is Ishikawa, who founded Iwagakure in the Land of Earth. In the anime, he was stated to be a member of the Kamizaru clan. At the first meeting of the 5 Kage during the First Shinobi World War, Ishikawa, accompanied by Mu, sat alongside the others, where he noted that he had come in good faith to endorse the meeting of the 5 Kage, but noted that he would not sign so easily into agreement. True to his words, he expressed outrage when the first Kazekage made a demand. In the anime, Ishikawa had a collection of sacred scrolls that contained sacred techniques of his Bag-Timer arts, which at some point of time he hid, even from his own clan. Though his capabilities remained largely unknown, overall as the founding Tsuchikage, Ishikawa was undoubtedly a powerful shinobi. He was able to use earth release to make his body light enough to fly. The next is Ei, the first Raikage, who founded Komagakure in the Land of Lightning. During his leadership in the early days of Komagakure after the Warring States period, Ei presumably sent the Gold and Silver Brothers to capture the Nine Tails, a task at which they ultimately failed. He also gave land in the Valley of Clouds and Lightning to the Yotsuki clan in return for their loyalty. At the first meeting of the 5 Kage during the First Shinobi World War, he was accompanied by the future second Raikage, his longtime bodyguard. He sat alongside the other Kage and told Hashirama that bowing to the other Kage was not a sign of a lasting leader. Before his death during the war, Ei would leave a strong moral mark related to his desire to protect Komagakure, his bodyguard, whose long service and dedication earned him the nomination as his successor. And the last in our Kage list is Byakuren, who founded Kirigakure in the Land of Water during the Warring States period. After the formation of Kirigakure, Byakuren worked hard to establish the village as one of the 5 great shinobi countries. However, its governance was marked by limited interaction with the other villages. At the first meeting of the 5 Kage during the First Shinobi World War, Byakuren was accompanied by a shinobi from his village, who would later become the third Mizukage. Almost nothing is known about his power. The databook states that as the first Mizukage and the founder of Kirigakure, Byakuren was undoubtedly a powerful shinobi. He was held as a legendary shinobi who excelled in worldly wisdom. I assume he was the creator of the 7 legendary swords of the Hidden Mist. If not the creator, he was at least user of all of them, since he had similar shark-like teeth just like all the other users of 7 legendary ninja swords. The main combating forces during this war were the 5 nations, at least. Hashirama's first Kage summit, where he divided the tailed beasts among the other nations as a means of balancing power and establishing a peace among them, also established their participation in the war. We also know that the war spilled into the next generation of Kage, Imra III. The second Mizukage was familiar with the second Tsuchikage and third Raikage, only not knowing the fourth Kazekage upon being resurrected. Their assumption that Tobirama was the caster of Edo Tensei, bringing them back, assumes that Mu, the second Tsuchikage, and Gengetsu, the second Mizukage, died before Tobirama's own death, at the hands of Kinkaku unit. Also, the fact that old Kages knew the fact that Tobirama was the user of Edo Tensei makes me think that at some point he had faced one of them, where he may have used his version of Edo Tensei, which would be really cool to see, to be honest. Lady Chiyo and Lord Ebizo likely participated given their ages and early records as Suna Shinobi. Setsuno Uchiha, a notable anarchist of the Uchiha clan who went against Tobirama's policies that entirely fell under this era, presumably also was part of this war. Let's talk about combatants and start this list with the Hidden Leaf. The two obvious fighters from the Hidden Leaf are Hashirama and Tobirama, including the escort unit, which was an elite team under the leadership of the second Hokage, Tobirama Senju. Along with members of Team Tobirama, Hiruzen Sarutobi, Kohara Utatane, and Homura Mitokado, the unit included Danzo Shimura, Kagami Uchiha, and Torifo Akimichi. Besides them, Mito Uzumaki, Biwako Sarutobi, and Setsuno Uchiha presumably also were part of this world. On Suna's side, besides Reto and Shaman, I think Chiyo and Ebizo also participated given their ages and early records as a Suna Shinobi. We all know how strong Chiyo was, but we don't really know many things about Ebizo. In the data book, it's written that though little is known of his skills, it was stated that he has a strong and analytical mind that served him and Sungakure well during the previous Great Ninja Wars, even in his old age. About Kirigakure and Iwagakure, I can't think of anyone besides the first 3 Kages, who will be Byakuren, Gengetsu Hozuki, 3rd Mizukage, Ishikawa, Mu, and Onoki. On Kumigakure's side, besides the first 3 Raikages, Kinkaku, and Kinkaku Force also took part. In addition with Rashi and Blue Bee, the main known battles that happened in this war are Hashima's final battle, Mu vs Gengetsu, and Tobirama vs Kinkaku and Genkaku. The war forever impacted the ninja world. Many of the future strategies and tactics would be born here, the most notable of which is that the tailed beasts were formally distributed. The Hidden Leaf retained Kurama. Sungakure opted out of this sale, having sold Shukaku, in exchange for more funds from other nations, and fertile land from the Land of Fire. Kirigakure gained the 3-tailed beast Isabo and 6-tailed Saiken. Iwagakure gained the 4-tailed Songaku and 5-tailed Kokuo. Kumgakure gained the 2-tailed Matatabi and 8-tailed Gyoki. It should also be noted that the second Tsuchikage Mu had a policy of using underhanded tactics and attempted to steal the other Jinchuriki from other nations. Onoki would later adopt this style from his teacher as third Tsuchikage. The war also saw the betrayal of the Golden Seal brothers against Kumgakure, launching a rebellion during a peace treaty between the second Hokage and the second Raikage during this era, setting back world relations for years. With the second Hokage's regime, resentment would begin to arise within the Uchiha clan over the lack of government representation and the creation of military police force. This in turn would lead to Madara Uchiha gaining sympathizers years after exiling him from their clan, such as Setsuna Uchiha. This war took many lives, notably so as the first global-scale conflict of multiple nations. Such casualties were Hashirama Senju, the first Hokage, Tobirama Senju, the second Hokage, who gave his life to act as a decoy so his escort unit can escape the Kinkaku unit. Presumably, the rest of the first generation of Kages perished as well. Reto, Byakuren, Ishikawa, and A. Mu, the second Tsuchikage, also killed Gengetsu, the second Mizukage, along with him. The attempted rebellion by the Kinkaku unit presumably also resulted in the death of the second Raikage as well. As you can see, a lot of interesting stuff has happened in the First Shinobi World War, and I'm really disappointed that we never got to see that. We also never got to see any first Kages besides Hokages into action, and I would really love to see their techniques and how strong they actually were. They should be extremely strong. Really high tier ninjas, because it's not easy to create an entire village, and not just some random village, but one of the 5 great ninja village. I don't really have high expectations that we will hear more about them in the future, but my hopes are still up. Anyway, I guess this is all for today. What do you think about this war? Write your opinions in the comments. Like this video and subscribe to the channel for more. Astrojack is out. Bye.